All right, this is progress 11, I believe. I'm gonna speed run it, kind of. I don't want to say speed run it, but I'm gonna try to speed run it here because I've been recording this like 4 times so far, and friggin' Cam Studio has been crapping out on me every single time, which has been annoying. So I'm gonna try to do this one. I been tweaking the settings, trying to get it to work. So hopefully it works this time. Anyways, so what do we have here? We have the main board. I finished last at the very end of last progress report. I was doing a little bit of tweaks to it, just little tiny minor like text things and silk screen things on it here and there, preparing it to send it off to OSH Park, which I finally did because I always take forever to do that. So, I'm proud of me for getting that done. Mostly because I'm like, am I sure this is done? Am I really sure? Which is, a really annoying attitude to have, but whatever. So that eventually got done. What else eventually got done? I also sent off the encoder board to OSH Park as well, and I made the BOM for all the components that I need, so displays, resistors, buttons, MOSFETs, power supplies, all these little bits, like the USB input jack, all that junk. So got all that, kind of figured out, got that order off Mauser. That should be here in like 5 days or so. What else do we have? We have, Eagle updated, gave me all these fancy little labels on all my traces, so that's nice. On my nets and stuff have labels. What else? So majority of the work I did was in Fusion. I can show you in the CAD. So I printed out this bottom block here on a 3D printer finally. Got this axle cut to length because I got a 1/8 ground axle from McMaster. I had to cut it to length, and I also had to take a little bit, chuck it up in the hand drill and put some sandpaper on the end, and remove a little bit of material from it because it was a little bit bigger than 1/8 because it didn't fit this little tiny bearing. Not sure why the bearing's all the way up, like asymmetrical on that, but whatever. So I had to do that, and then what else did I have to do? That was about it for that. I also, did a lot of post processing on this 3D printed part. Post processing, i.e., I took and had to tap it and drill this out so it's the right diameter. Finally figured out the trick to machining PLA. Go really friggin' slow, like retardedly slow. Just make sure heat does not build up. As soon as heat builds up, your part is screwed. It just melts on you. There's nothing you can do. But if you don't, then it works fine. So that's nice. What else did I work on? So that is the needle part. So on the full assembly over here, it's that's kind of slides around, the huge. What else did I work on? So I got all the faceplate stuff ready to be cut. All the acrylic thingies. So if that file would open in a moment, you can see I got did all the cam work for it. Got it, what segments, curves I wanted to run the laser cutter past. Why is it not opening? Oh my god, Lord. I think my CPU is throttling down again. It's been doing that on and off. Why you know show me the magic? Yeah, it's throttling down. It's retarded. So if I go to acrylic cut file, go to open my setups, do simulate. Get rid of stocks. I don't want stock. Go. Oh Lord, it's throttling down again. Why you throttle down? Go shaft. No, I go holder head. And then I run this. Yeah. And not all my parts are on the same plane, so if there's a little offset, it doesn't matter really. The cam doesn't care. So if I start the simulation, yeah, you can see it's running, doing all the decals. Let's speed this up a little bit. Doing all the decals first because you don't want to cut the decals after you cut the outsides because that makes the part fall out and then it upsets the part fell out of the rest of the reference material and then you deal with like offsets and stuff. Now it's doing all the actual cutting curves, so it's actually cutting through now. The earlier was just etching, and now it's done. I was narrating a little bit slow for this thing, but whatever. So that's, that's that. So we'll close that. We will close. There you go. Close simulation. So that's that. One thing I figured out was the pinion gears for the slider, for the big slide. Because 3D printing sucks butt, and I hate it, you can't do any like post-processing with it, I had to take and come up with, a different method of making the gears, the big pinion gears. So these, they're these. Instead of 3D printing them, the original thought was to, well, I'll get to that in a moment. So I just 3D printed this, came out terrible, I hate it. I need to come up with a better way. What I'm thinking is I'll make the gear, cut it out of acrylic on a laser cutter, because, it's a nice hard material and stuff. Nice plastic, it'll give me a nice finish and stuff. But cut it on a laser cutter, and then I will take and press it onto an aluminum axle. So I end up, and I can just turn that axle to the dimensions I need. So it'll end up kind of like that. So I can totally do that. And then that should work. So I kind of was messing around with like the various cam stuff for infusion. Like, so this was originally designed to be cut with a gear cutter out of like a round, like 2-inch Delrin round stock. And then once I had the teeth cut into that round, I would just, use a lathe, get rid of all the extra material that I didn't want. Like, so, I'd have an axle here and an axle there on a lathe. But that would require like a custom cutter and like an indexing head and all that jazz. And I don't just have a machine shop at my disposal, because robotics is anal about me using theirs, because I'm a programmer, not a machinist apparently. But anyways, digressing. So I was just kind of tinkering with the CAM software. So I made the gear cutter that would be required to do that operation, and I have no intention of actually doing that operation. I think I really think I should go a different route, just because this is kind of going to be a lot of steps and kind of a pain in the ass to actually do. So, but I'd messed around with the CAM software, made a little CAM toolpath actually. I'll show stock, transparent, no. Go over here, go holder, go flute, and we'll run it. And yeah, you can see I just did a couple adaptive to get rid of most of the material. Fairly slow, just because, it's high-speed steel, so you don't want to try to like run into a thing. And it's just kind of removing a little bit of material in each pass, kind of touching it occasionally, getting rid of material here and there. Does a couple little spirals around to kind of cut it all, and climb milling, and then it drops down, does a 2D contour to kind of finish up and bring it to size, and then it does one more 2D contour to ensure that, like, tool deflection and stuff, to kind of get rid of that last little bit that ends up just staying on there because of things like tool deflection. So that's that. That came out kind of neatly, and I like that. And it's just designed to cut into a high-speed steel blank. So I closed that, and while I was at it, I was tinkering with the cam for that slider block over here, because that was also designed originally to be cut on a mill. This one would have been easier just out of like a giant chunk of Delrin, like a block. And then what I would do was I would just take and, like, this is all fairly easy to do. You could even do it manually on a CNC mill, on a mill, but like it would be a pain. There's a lot of dimensions you need to do, but easiest, it would probably be easy to do with the DRO. But anyway, so I decided I wanted to tinker with the cam for it, so I did that. I go cam and go settings, go simulate, and I'll run this. Yeah, And you can see I'm just using a big 1-inch end mill to do the majority of the operations, just because I can. Like, there's enough, like, a lot of the operations, the important ones at least, can be done with just a giant 1-inch end mill. So that's what I'm using. Doing a couple pockets operations to get rid of a lot of the material here. I don't care too much. I don't think I'll run into any issues about like crashing the machine trying to take those really deep cuts. And if so, I'll just do, I'll just take and, who's it? I will just take and do it on, I'll just reduce the feed rate to deal with that. And then here I'm doing little helixes down to get those little pockets, to machine out those little pocketing. Complains that I run into the corners, the tool holder, which is because it's not long enough. That's why it's turning red. But yeah, and it's doing a little 2E pocket to open up that. I'm not sure why the helix starts way the hell up here. Best I could tell is that there's no good way to deal with that other than just deal with it. Just let it do it and ignore that it takes forever to helix down. But because like the examples I've seen that have to deal with situations kind of like this, they do the same thing. They don't have any, I didn't see any way to avoid this. But yeah, the issue is that it starts where the top of the stock starts. It starts helixing, assuming that there's, like, this is what it originally started as, which is a giant block of, giant Delrin block. But there's not actually material here, so there's no need to spiral. So I don't know why it's trying to spiral. It's kind of weird. Don't know quite how to deal with that. So maybe a different setup. I'm not sure, honestly. I only used the CAM software to do a couple things, the 2 things I just showed you. So I'm still learning. So that's give or take about all of the things I worked on so far this progress report. I think I might be forgetting something, but I think. So just, a lot of assorted things, BOM, trying to hunt down laser cutters, just, kind of not the most funnish stuff. Like, I mean, doing this cam was pretty fun, but like BOM is kind of meh. Printing stuff out is kind of meh. So, oh, I also improved or did a little bit more CAD work on the belts, the idler belt pulleys. Kind of mathematically solved how much this spacer, this standoff needs to be to hold for the bearing from this plate to where the thingy needs to be. That could be wrong. Ooh. I need to go to sleep. Anyways, but yeah, so that could be wrong. I don't want to say I doubt it, but like, I don't know, could be. Just need to kind of tinker with that, make sure it's something reasonable and makes sense. And it looks, honestly, it looks like it makes sense from here at least. Yeah, the main pulleys, give or take, is lined up. I can adjust where I put this pulley anyways, like just adjusting the set screw. But other than that, not a whole lot. Like I said, catted the idlers, catted the standoff, made a little assembly for that. Just this and that. This has been a very not focused progress. Not focused in a bad thing. Just a lot of random things. So yeah, that's about it. Yeah, we'll just sign off here.